Big trial starts today.
I am well aware of that fact.
The papers are calling it the trial of the century.
The papers should concern themselves with news, not sensationalism.
But everyone in the world will be following this trial.
Everyone in the world should find something better to do. Mr. Connolly, this trial is a waste of time. My time. And I don't like wasting my time. And then to make matters worse, I have to put up with the sickening sweet courtroom procedures of Mr. Solomon Rothschild.
The people like him.
The people don't have to deal with him on a daily basis. Would you please state your full name for the court? Catherine Harrington. Catherine Harrington. Mrs. Harrington, may I call you Catherine? Mark me, every witness.
He's just doing his job.
As should you. Look at that coal. That is a waste of coal. You are wasting my coal. And I don't like having my coal wasted. Find the coal or lose your job. And as for Mr. Rothschild's job, I wish he'd take his business elsewhere. I find him to be an annoyingly doltish irritant in my courtroom.
I haven't heard who's representing Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge? He's representing himself.
Why?
Because he's a tight-fisted, ugly, old cheapskate.
All right. All rise. The Honorable Stanfield R. Pearson.
Be seated. This court is now in session. Entered on this 24th day of December, 1844, by Ebenezer Scrooge, a complaint of attempted murder, kidnapping, breaking and entering, trespassing, stalking, slander, theft, pain and suffering, and the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Against Jacob Marley and the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And how do your clients plead, Mr. Rothschild?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Very well. Opening remarks, Mr. Scrooge.
Bah humbug!
That's it? That's your opening?
Yes, that's what I think of Mr. Marley and his hooligan friends.
Mr.
Bah humbug!
Mr. Scrooge, perhaps if you were to reconsider legal
I am
representation.
capable of representing myself.
Very well. Mr. Rothschild, your opening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Merry Christmas! Objection!
Mr. Scrooge, you may not object during Mr. Rothschild's opening.
I find the phrase Merry Christmas objectionable.
As much as you may find the phrase Merry Christmas objectionable, and as much as I find it ironic that someone of Mr. Rothschild's upbringing would even use such a phrase, you may not legally object during his opening. Not another word out of you. But again, I urge you, reconsider legal representation.
I am capable of representing myself.
Then it should come as no surprise to someone as knowledgeable in courtroom procedures as yourself. It is a common courtesy to refer to me as Your Honor.
I am well aware of that courtesy.
Sit down, Mr. Scrooge. Not another word during Mr. Rothschild's opening. Mr. Rothschild, you may proceed.
Thank you once again, Your Honor. Happy holidays! This trial is not about attempted murder. It's not about kidnapping. It's not even about slander, theft, or even trespassing. But I will agree with Mr. Scrooge on one point. It is about pain and suffering. The pain and suffering of a shut-up heart. The pain and suffering of a lost soul. The pain and suffering endured by Mr. Scrooge because he lost the Christmas spirit. 1 year ago this very night, Mr. Scrooge's closest and only friend went to extraordinary measures to heal that pain and suffering. Jacob Marley, along with the spirits of Christmas past, present, and future, they went to Mr. Scrooge and they challenged him. They challenged him to look beyond the darkness of his cold and shriveled soul, to look beyond his vicious and his malicious ways, to look beyond his pain and suffering and look into the bosom and the belly of the awe-inspiring and miraculous spirit of Christmas. And do you know what happened? Do you know what happened when Mr. Scrooge took a good, long look into a life brimming with the spirit of Christmas? Mr. Scrooge found his heart. Mr. Scrooge found his soul. Mr. Scrooge found his happiness, his joy, and his compassion because he found the Christmas spirit. We all noticed the change in him. How could we not? His soul was given new life. His heart, it laughed, and we laughed with him. He was merciful. He was charitable. He was a pleasure and a joy to be near. But then the unthinkable happened. Mr. Scrooge's heart grew cold again. Mr. Scrooge's soul was shut up again. Mr. Scrooge's life was merciless, malevolent, malignant again, because he lost the spirit of Christmas again. And if that were not bad enough, as if the fall of man was not bad enough, as if the souring of the milk of human kindness was not bad enough, Mr. Scrooge now wants to punish those selfless, benevolent souls who brought about this miracle in his life 1 year ago. My clients did not murder Mr. Scrooge. They did not kidnap him. They did not even harm or harass him. What they did is went to extraordinary measures to heal the pain that Mr. Scrooge suffered. And for that, my clients should not be punished. They should be embraced and loved. Thank you.
Mr. Scrooge, you may call your first witness.
I have no witnesses at this time.
You're joking, right? Why me? Mr. Rothschild, you are witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call to the witness stand Mr. Robert Cratchit.
Mr. Robert Cratchit.
Would you please state your full name to the court?
Robert Cratchit.
Mr. Cratchit. May I call you Robert?
Bob's fine.
Bob. What is your relationship with Mr. Scrooge?
I'm a clerk at Scrooge Marley's.
Oh, so you work for both Mr. Scrooge and Mr. Marley.
Only Mr. Scrooge.
Well, why don't you work for Mr. Marley?
Well, Mr. Marley's dead to begin with.
Dead?
Yes, sir.
Was he dead on the night in question?
Yes, sir.
You're positive?
There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clerk, the clergyman, the undertaker, and,
Go on.
Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge himself signed the register of burial?
Yes, sir. His name is good for anything he chooses to put his hand to.
So on the night in question, Mr. Scrooge knew that Mr. Marley was dead.
Well, how can you not know? Mr. Scrooge and he were business partners for, well, I don't know how long. And besides that, he was his sole friend and, sole mourner.
So on the night in question, old Marley was as dead as a doornail.
Objection! Doornail?
Sustained. Mr. Rothschild, you made your point. There's no doubt Mr. Marley was dead.
Your Honor, this must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come about from this trial which we're about to undertake. If we were not perfectly convinced that Hamlet's father was dead before the beginning of the play, there would be nothing more remarkable in his turning out at midnight in an easterly wind upon his own ramparts than there would be of any other middle-aged man taking a walk at night in a breezy spot trying to frighten his son's weak mind.
Thank you for that literary lesson, Mr. Rothschild. You made your point. Now move on.
All right. Bob, in your humble opinion, what sort of man is Ebenezer Scrooge?
Well, he's thrifty.
Oh, Bob! He's a prejudiced hand at the grindstone, he is. Hard and
Order.
grabbing, clutching, squeezing, wrenching, covetous old
Mr.
sinner,
Conley,
Hard and
remove her
sharp
from the
as-
courtroom.
flint from which no steel has ever struck generous fire. Oh, really?
Mr. Connolly.
Mr. Connolly, stop pushing me. Stop!
Do be gentle.
Stop!
Out of any one of you, I'll have the whole lot of you held in contempt. Mr. Connolly, lock the door. I'll have no more interruptions.
Oh, I would just like to say, arranged marriage.
Mr. Rothschild, proceed.
Yes. Bob, would you agree with your wife's outburst?
Sustained. Mr. Rothschild, you shall not encourage contemptible behavior.
All right. Bob, just how long have you worked for Mr. Scrooge?
10 years.
10 years. And in that 10 years, have you and he ever gone out after work for a drink?
No, sir.
Have you had him over to your house for dinner?
No, sir.
Have you gone to his place to eat dinner?
Mr. Scrooge is secretive and solitary and self-contained. As an oyster.
Objection! Just establishing character, Your Honor.
Don't be quick about it then. Overruled.
All right, Bob, let's discuss the night in question, shall we? Christmas Eve. Do you remember where you were on that day?
Yes, sir, I was at work.
Of all the good days, of all the year, you were working on Christmas Eve?
Yes, sir, I had to work the whole day.
Huh. Do you remember what it was like outside?
Yes, I distinctly remember the city clock striking 3. Oh, but it was quite dark already. And the candles were flaring in the neighboring offices like ruddy smears upon the palpable brown air. It was extremely foggy, and I remember thinking to myself that to see the fog come pouring in, obscuring everything, one might have thought that nature was hard by and was brewing on a large scale.
Yes, it was rather cold out, as I recall.
Yes, sir, cold, bleak, biting weather.
Well, at least you had the warmth of your office to protect you from the elements.
Not quite.
No? You didn't have a fire blazing in the successful offices of Scrooge Marley?
External heat and cold have very little influence on Mr. Scrooge. It seems no warmth warms him, nor wintry wind chills him.
Well, surely you had some sort of fire burning.
A very small one.
Okay. How small?
1 coal.
One coal.
Yes, sir.
Well, that barely constitutes a fire.
Mr. Scrooge's orders.
On the coldest day of the year, Mr. Scrooge would not let you burn more than 1 piece of coal.
No, sir.
Well, you asked him if you could burn. Did you ask him if you could burn more than 1 piece of coal?
I did.
And?
You said if I took 1 more piece of coal from the coal box, my services would no longer be needed. That'll fair.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Scrooge, your witness.
Mr. Cratchit, I'm sorry. Did you say you worked Christmas Day?
No, sir, I said I worked Christmas Eve.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Christmas Day.
No, sir. You remember you gave me the day off?
Ah, that's right. No more questions of this witness.
You may step down, Mr. Cratchit. Next witness, Mr. Rothschild.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call to the witness stand Mr. Frederick Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Frederick Fitzpatrick.
Would you please state your full name for the court?
Frederick Samuel Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Fitzpatrick. May I call you Frederick?
Fred is fine.
Fred, what is your relationship to Mr. Scrooge?
Mr. Scrooge is my uncle.
Oh, by birth or by marriage?
By birth. My mother and he were brother and sister.
Or is your mother deceased?
Yes,
I'm sorry. On the night in question, did you see your uncle?
no, I saw him that afternoon
And where was that?
at his office.
What kind of a mood was your uncle in when you saw him earlier that day?
His usual mood. Grumpy, crotchety, disagreeable.
Did your visit cheer him up?
No, if anything, I'm afraid it made him more disagreeable.
Or did you come bearing bad news?
I came to wish him a Merry Christmas and invite him to Christmas dinner.
And that put him into an even worse mood?
My uncle has taken the key. disliked Christmas?
Any reason why?
We just never said.
Did he accept your invitation to dinner?
As usual, he declined.
As usual.
Yes. Every Christmas I invite him to Christmas dinner. And Christmas, he says no.
Because of his dislike for Christmas.
Or because of his dislike for me.
Oh, Fred, have you ever done anything to warrant that type of behavior?
Well, I've never had a quarrel, as far as I can recall.
But yet you come back year after year inviting him to dinner and Christmas when the answer has always been no.
Yes. I've always thought that Christmas time is a good time. You know, a kind, a forgiving, a charitable time. The only time I know of, in the long calendar of the year, when men and women seem by one consent to open their hearts freely to one another and to truly think of each other as if they were really fellow passengers to the grave, not just another race of creatures bound for other days. So yes, I return every Christmas, because Christmas has done me good, and it will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Bravo!
Mr. Connolly, another word out of you, and you'll be keeping Christmas by losing your situation.
No further questions, Your Honor. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament. Objections. Badgering the witness.
Sustained.
It was a compliment.
I didn't like your tone.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, in the past 10 years, approximately how many times have you come to see me?
But that's easy. 10.
10 times. I'm sure.
Yes.
You're positive.
Yes. Every Christmas Eve.
You never came by to see me on New Year's Eve?
No.
Boxing Day.
No.
Guy Fawkes Day.
No.
Christmas Day. Good Day. St. George's Day.
No.
May Day. First day of summer. Christmas Day in autumn.
No.
Surely on my birthday.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know what that is.
Good. I suppose you're right. 10 years, 10 times, 10 visits. In your diatribe about Christmas,
Objection.
Sustained.
in your speech about Christmas, you said it was the only time of year that you knew of when men and women open their hearts freely to each other. Did you say that?
Yes.
And you mean that?
I do.
And this opening of hearts, is this what you would call the Christmas spirit?
Yes, it is.
A spirit of caring and generosity?
Yes.
A spirit which you believe I do not possess?
Yes.
And at Christmas time, do you believe you possess this spirit?
I do.
More than most men?
More than you, I'm afraid.
So, Fitzpatrick, let me ask you this. Where does your Christmas spirit, your spirit of caring and generosity, go the other 364 days of the year?
Doesn't go anywhere. It's always inside me.
And in 10 years, you've only visited me 10 times, each time at Christmas Eve.
Yes, I make those visits, homage to the Christmas spirit.
And yet you just said your Christmas spirit is always inside of you.
Yes.
So why don't you come and see me more often?
Well, I...
Precisely. No more questions.
You may step down, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Mr. Rothschild.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call to the witness stand Miss Sara Wainwright.
Miss Sara Wainwright.
Would you please state your full name for the court?
Sara Anne Wainwright.
Miss Wainwright. May I call you Sarah?
Oh, God.
Oh, yes, sir, you may.
Sarah, on the night in question, did you see Mr. Scrooge?
I most certainly did.
And where was that?
At his office.
What business did you have that brought you to Mr. Scrooge's office?
Well, at Christmas time, I go door to door to the various businesses in and around London, soliciting money for the poor and the destitute.
Well, that's very noble of you.
Objection.
Sustained. Mr. Rothschild, please keep your opinions to yourself.
Sarah, what charitable organization do you work for?
Well, I don't work for any organization. I do this on my own.
you've taken it upon yourself to take care of the poor.
Yes, I have.
What prompted you to undertake this cause?
Several years ago, we were having a Christmas party at our home when someone said it was snowing outside. So we all rushed to the front window to look out. Oh, and when we did, there in the street stood a homeless family, just standing there in the snow. They were staring at us, and I couldn't help but staring right back. We had some leftover food, so I put on my hat, my coat, and my mittens, and my new mink muffler, and I took it out to them. I wished them a Merry Christmas, and they were just so grateful. In that moment, I felt a warmth inside me, and I realized that, well, Christmas is more than parties and presents and pretty dresses. Oh, that's a big part of it. But there's so much more than that. So, every year, when want is keenly felt and abundance is joyful, I trod door to door collecting money to feed the poor, some meat, something to drink, and some means of warmth. I believe that everyone is entitled to that on Christmas.
Sarah, how many people benefit from your efforts?
Oh, not nearly enough. Why, there are hundreds of thousands who are, well, in want of common comforts. And there are hundreds of thousands, and possibly millions, who are in want of, well, common necessaries.
Out of all the people you solicit, approximately, how many give you money?
Nearly everyone. You know, abundance truly rejoices at Christmas time. Why, even poor people give a little something.
What can I say? Poor givers. On the night in question, just how much money did Mr. Scrooge give you?
Nothing.
He wished to remain anonymous then.
Oh, he wished to be left alone.
Alone.
Was his wish.
Mr. Scrooge didn't give you any money?
No, he did not.
Well, did he give you a reason why?
He said that since he pays taxes to the prisons and the workhouses, that those who are badly off should go there.
Or should they now?
Well, it is well established that the establishments that Mr. Scrooge was referring to scarcely provide Christian cheer to the mind and to the body of the multitudes. Frankly, there are those who would rather die than go to the workhouses. And when I told him this,
Yes, go on.
he said, and I quote, if they had rather die than they should do so, and decrease the surplus population.
I have nothing further to add, Your Honor. Mr. Scrooge, you're a witness.
Miss Wainwright, how long have you lived in London?
My entire life, I was born and raised here.
So you're fairly familiar with this city.
Yes, I am.
How would you describe the weather here?
Perfect.
Perfect if you're a duck. Ducks love it here. It's cold and wet.
Mr. Connolly, please refrain from sharing your opinion during the questioning, or the ducks won't be the only ones cold and wet.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Connolly thinks it's cold and wet.
Objection sustained. Mr. Scrooge, Mr. Connolly's want-witted opinion shall not be taken into consideration.
Very well. I think it's cold and wet. Rainy and foggy. What do you think, Miss Wainwright?
Yes, we have our share of that kind of weather.
Our share. More like monopoly, I would say. Now, what's the average temperature in February, Miss Wainwright?
Objection. We're not here to discuss the annual weather report.
Mr. Scrooge, is there a point to this questioning?
I'm getting to it.
I'll get to it quickly then.
What's the average temperature in February?
I wouldn't know.
You should know. You've lived here your entire life.
I know. Generally, I don't know exact figures.
Chilly will do. Does it ever get below freezing in February?
Yes,
More than half the days?
it depends on the year.
Generally.
Well, yes, generally, I would say so.
Sleet?
Yes.
Snow?
Yes.
Have you ever seen it snow in October?
Yes, I have.
How about March?
Yes.
April?
A couple of years ago, it snowed on Easter Sunday.
It must be fairly cold to snow, doesn't it?
Well, yes.
October through April. That's 7 months. More than half the year. 7 months of cold and wet weather. And 5 months, to be honest, of not so great weather. The taxes I pay every week help provide food and means of warmth all year long, not just for one day. So in the long term, this way, right? Who's doing more to help the poor? You or me? I have no more questions.
Sit down, Miss Wainwright.
I'd like to call this man Mr. Jacob Marley.
Mr. Scrooge, you were given an opportunity to call your witnesses.
I've changed my mind.
Mr. Scrooge.
Your Honor, if Mr. Scrooge would like to call a witness, I gladly yield the floor to him.
Very well. Mr. Jacob Marley. Mr. Jacob Marley.
Please tell the court who you are.
Ask me who I was.
You're the particular shadow.
Objection, he's badgering the witness, Your Honor.
Sustained, Mr. Scrooge.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
In life? When did you die?
8 years ago. 8 years ago, this very night. Christmas Eve.
It wasn't a very Merry Christmas for you, was it?
Objection.
Sustained, Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, I know. I know. In those 8 years, have we ever seen each other?
We've seen each other twice, but I have seen you many times.
Where have you seen me?
As part of my penance, I am forced to sit invisible beside you many and many a day.
Mr. Marley, that's known as stalking.
Overruled.
The 2 times we saw each other, when was that?
At your front door?
Both times on the same day.
Yes.
And where did we see each other first?
At your front door.
Do you recall where we were standing?
On your doorstep.
And where were you?
I was in your door knocker.
That's an odd face to meet someone, don't you think? I mean, I can understand you meeting somebody at their front door, but waiting for them in their door knocker? Why were you there?
I don't know.
Don't know at all. Okay. Were you left in their door knocker?
No.
Where did you go?
Well, I came to offer you a chance of hope for escaping my fate. And then I went into your bedchamber.
I don't recall inviting you to my bedchamber, Mr. Marley. Did you or did you not enter my bedchamber? Uninvited.
A chance of hope of escaping my fate, Ebenezer.
Did you or did you not enter my bedchamber? Uninvited through a double-locked door.
A chance and hope of my procuring
Mr.
it.
Marley, answer the question. Did you or did you not enter Mr. Scrooge's bedchamber uninvited through a double-locked door?
I did.
And what exactly was this chance of hope you offered me that night?
A visitation.
Not a visitation. I believe your exact words were, "You will be haunted by green spirits." Does that sound correct?
Maybe.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You will be haunted by three spirits. Not you will be visited by three spirits, but you will be haunted by three spirits. There is a distinct difference between those 2 words, Mr. Marley. The word visit implies coming into routine. The word haunted conjures threatening images of horror, terror, and fear. On the next question, you broke into my house to terrorize, threaten, and haunt me.
It was for your own good.
So you admit to it.
It was for your own good, Ebenezer.
It was for my own good. Why did you wait 7 years?
As part of my penance, I am condemned to travel the world.
And yet you just admitted you have sat beside me for many and many a day. Which is it, Mr. Marley? No more questions.
Mr. Rothschild, your witness.
May I call you Jacob?
Oh,
Yes, you may.
I see you're fettered. Please tell us why.
No feathers over here.
No feathers. Feathers, chains, locks, manacles.
I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them link by link and yard by yard. I made them of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is it cat and strings to you, Ebenezer? Or would you know the way to length the chain you better yourself?
Mr. Marley.
It was as full, as heavy, and as long as this 8 Christmas Eves ago.
Or you have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Mr. Marley, order.
It is a ponderous chain!
Mr. Marley, if you cannot control yourself, I shall have you held in contempt.
I apologize for my client. He's under a bit of strain.
Well, he's not the only one.
Well, it's his penance. Jacob, you mentioned something about your penance.
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should go forth out into the world amongst his fellow man. If that spirit was not forth in life, it must do so after death.
And your spirit never went forth.
In life, my spirit never rode beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing world. I am doomed to travel the world and witness what I cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness.
Jacob, how did this happen? You were obviously a good man of business.
Business! Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Mercy, charity, benevolence, and forbearance were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
I know, it must be very painful.
No rest, no sleep, and many weary journeys still lie before me.
And despite your unfathomable exhaustion and your overwhelming fatigue, you were able to summon the strength to visit haunt, to visit your friend Ebenezer Scrooge.
I came to offer a chance of escaping my fate.
Well, why didn't you come earlier then?
I didn't fill out the proper papers! They put me on a 7-year waiting list! The 3 spirits!
There's a 7-year waiting list for the 3 spirits?
Scary impossible to get an appointment.
They're that busy.
Many Ebenezer Scrooges on the face of the earth and are in need of their services.
Why didn't you just use any other 3 spirits?
Oh, they're the only ones who do this sort of work.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I'll spare that.
Look to see me no more. And for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
I'd like to call a witness.
Mr. Scrooge, you may not call witnesses.
Your Honor, again, I happily yield the floor to Mr. Scrooge.
I'd like to call us in the ghost of Christmas past.
The ghost of Christmas past. Mr. Connolly.
Ooh, I love this chair. It's a wonderful chair.
It would be wonderful if you could come to the witness stand, please.
Please tell the court who you are.
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past,
Your past.
you were one of the spirits whose coming was foretold me with Mr. Marley.
I am.
And on the night in question, what business brought you to my house?
Your welfare.
Did it ever occur to you that a bank unbroken rest might be more conducive to that end?
Your reclamation then.
And that included kidnapping me?
Objection.
I was kidnapped by the spirit.
Your Honor, Mr. Scrooge was not kidnapped.
I was supposed to be taken out of my house against my wishes.
Your Honor, look at my client. She's as gentle as a child.
Ah, gentle as a woman's hand, but her grasp was not to be resisted.
Order. I will determine at the end of this trial whether Mr. Scrooge did or did not go of his own volition.
Spirit, did you not take me, clad only in my dressing gown, nightcap, and slippers, through the bedchamber window and out of my house,
Yes.
subjecting me, a mortal, to the very real possibility of falling to my death?
With my hands upon your heart. We were more than upheld.
I don't know how things are in your little Netherlands, Spirit, but in this world, it's called kidnapping and engagement. No more questions.
Mr. Roth?
Thank you, Your Honor. Spirit of Christmas past. May I call you past?
You may.
Thank you, past. You said that your visit to Mr. Scrooge was for his reclamation, is that correct?
Yes.
Was Mr. Scrooge in need of reclamation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you kidnap Mr. Scrooge?
Heavens, no!
Objection!
Overruled.
Mr. Scrooge says that you did.
Objection!
Mr.
Overruled.
Scrooge is mistaken.
I am not mistaken. I was kidnapped by this apparition.
Order. Sit.
Let's say you did kidnap Mr. Scrooge.
But I did it.
Well, I know that.
Why did you say I did it?
But just for the sake of the argument.
I'd rather not argue.
I was just trying to prove a point.
Go on.
All right, say you went into Mr. Scrooge's room and you kidnapped him. What did you tie him up with? Rope?
No!
Sheets?
No!
Chains like Mr. Marley?
No! I did not tie up Mr. Scrooge.
Did you hold his arms and his legs so that he couldn't move?
No.
Did you throw him in a sack?
No.
Did you knock him unconscious?
No.
Did you use some kind of secret, ghostly, invisible power to immobilize him?
No.
I'm confused.
That's not surprising.
Mr. Scrooge alleges that you kidnapped him. How did you force him to go with you?
I did not force Mr. Scrooge. I merely touched his heart.
Well, that's something I'm sure Mr. Scrooge hasn't felt in years.
Objection!
Sustained.
So you got Mr. Scrooge out of his room. What did you ask for in ransom? Money?
No.
Better working conditions?
No.
The release of trapped spirits?
No. I sought nothing from him.
Huh. Again, I'm confused.
Just cause you're an idiot.
Mr. Scrooge, you are trying my already limited patience with you. Another outburst and I shall throw you in jail until the only way to remove you from your cell is to sweep out your ashes.
So you didn't force Mr. Scrooge to go with you, and you didn't ask anything for ransom.
No.
And if you didn't immobilize Mr. Scrooge, what prevented him from escaping?
Nothing.
Objection!
Overruled!
That ghost is perjurizing herself.
Perhaps you mean perjuring?
That is a perjurous poltergeist.
Mr. Scrooge,
She's lying.
I know what the word means, Mr. Scrooge. You were given an opportunity to question the spirit. It's now Mr. Rothschild's turn. Now sit down, Mr. Scrooge. Mr. Rothschild.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pat, you said that Mr. Scrooge was free to leave
Yes.
at any time.
He only needs to extinguish me with his hat. And he would have been back in his bedroom.
That is a powerful hat.
I'm a powerful ghost.
Aha! Not as gentle as she looks.
Mr. Scrooge.
Pat, how does the hat work?
It extinguishes my light.
Your light.
The light of one's past.
Oh, and that's what you took Mr. Scrooge, is it not? To revisit his past.
Too often, we forget the past and who we truly are.
Your Honor, I would like to present Exhibit A, Mr. Scrooge's past. First slide, please. Pat, can you tell me what we're looking at here?
Mr. Scrooge rented this place. He was spoiling it.
And that's where you took him on the night in question.
Yes.
And you walked along that road.
Yes.
Did Mr. Scrooge recollect the way?
He could walk it blindfolded.
That's strange. He seems to have forgotten it for so many years. Next slide, please. How far did you walk along that road?
Until a little town market appeared in the distance with its bridge, church, and winding river.
Who were the boys?
Mr. Scrooge's schoolboy friend.
Did Mr. Scrooge see these boys on the night in question?
Yes.
Was he rejoiced beyond all bounds to see them? Did his cold eye glisten? Was he did his heart leap when they passed? Was he rejoiced beyond all bounds when they gave each other Merry Christmases?
His lips trembled, and a tear rolled down his cheek.
It was a pimple.
Pat, just for the record, what are the boys' names?
I
The one on the left is Jack Bruce. The one with the red scarf is Eric Clapton. And the one with the snowball is Ginger Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Scrooge. Pat, can you tell me exactly where Mr. Scrooge is?
don't know. The school's not quite deserted.
Your Honor, I would like to call to the witness stand Mrs. Fan Fitzpatrick.
Very well. Mrs. Fan Fitzpatrick.
Fan.
Would you please state your full name for the court?
Fan Scrooge Fitzpatrick.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick.
Please call me Fan.
Thank you, Fan. What is your relationship to Mr. Scrooge?
He's my big brother.
Next slide, please, Mr. Collins. Fan, can you tell me, do you remember this place?
It's where Abby went to school.
Abby. Just how many years did Abby attend this school here?
12.
12 years. Next slide, please. Fan, can you tell me who that solitary child is?
It's Abby.
Why is he neglected at Christmas time by all his friends and family?
He was never neglected.
But surely, Fan, you can see that in this picture, he's all alone at the schoolhouse after all his friends have gone home for the holidays.
Yes.
Why was he left alone at Christmas time?
Father wouldn't permit him to come home.
How many Christmases was Eddie not permitted to come home?
11.
11, and he attended the school for 12 years.
Yes.
11 out of 12 years, Abby was not permitted to come home for Christmas. I'd say he was neglected most of his childhood.
Never in my heart.
But why didn't your father permit Emmy to come home?
When Mother died, Mom became awful to live with. Always angry, unreasonable. Sent Abby away to school. And would have sent me as well. I'm sure. But Father needs me to cooking. And cleaning.
Did you ever ask your father if Emmy could come home?
Every Christmas. Each time he would yell and say no.
What happened the 12th year?
Father said yes.
Why did your father finally say yes?
I never knew. He yelled at me that night, but the next morning he came to my room and spoke so gently, kissed me on the forehead and said, "We have done it, all in one night." He put me on a coach immediately to bring Abby home.
Thank you, Fair. No more questions, Your Honor. Mr. Scrooge?
Dad, my sister, my dear, dear little sister, who had a large heart. I have no questions.
Your Honor, I'd like to call to this witness stand Mrs. Belinda Worthington.
Mrs. Belinda Worthington.
Would you please state your full name and report?
Belinda Campbell Worthington. My friends call me Belle.
Belle,
Thank you, Belle. What is your relationship to Mr. Scrooge?
I was engaged to him once.
How long were the two of you engaged?
Our contract to marry was an old.
So safe to say several years then.
Yes,
But you never married.
I never married Mr. Scrooge. No.
Well, why did you not marry Mr. Scrooge?
Another idol displaced me.
Another woman.
A gold mine. Money.
Did Mr. Scrooge always have a love for money?
When we were engaged, we were both poor and content to be so. But I watched as his nobler aspirations fell off one by one, until his passion for me ceased to exist. And the master passion, gain, engrossed me.
How did that make you feel?
Unloved, fraught with misery,
How did it end between the two of you?
knowing that I was no longer loved, I released him from our contract to marry.
What was Mr. Scrooge's reaction to that?
Indifference, relief,
How did that make you feel?
broken-hearted. I loved Ebenezer. Once.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Scrooge, your witness.
Mrs. Worthington, when did that happen?
A few years after,
After you released me?
yes.
Did I ever ask for release?
In words, no.
In what then?
If we had not had a contract to marry, would you have sought me out and tried to win me?
Miss Campbell,
Mrs. Worthington.
answer the question. If I did not ask for release in words, in what way did I ask for release?
But I believe you would have chosen a girl without a dowry.
As I recall, I did choose a girl without a dowry.
Yes, you did. But you changed.
How so?
You began to weigh everything by gain.
I grew wiser, yes, but I wasn't changed towards you.
When you asked for my hand, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Yes, you were a boy. But you changed. And if for a moment you were false to your one guiding principle, did I not know that repentance and regret would surely come?
You made an assumption.
Objection.
No, I did not.
Miss Campbell,
Battering the witness.
My name is Mrs. Worthington.
Overruled.
I was a boy.
Your own feelings tell you you are not what you are.
And what am I?
A lonely, old man.
This is
Bent on nothing but the pursuit of wealth.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which is so hard as poverty, and nothing which professes to condemn with such severity as a pursuit of wealth.
Objection, Your Honor, if you
You
cannot
don't fear the
control
world too much.
Don't tell me how to run my courtroom.
I was fighting for your future well-being.
My well-being meant little. To you, very little. I was merely an unprofitable dream.
You were not an unprofitable dream. You were going to be my wife. I did not ask to be released. You made an assumption and walked out on me.
Why didn't you stop me? If I meant so much to you, why did you let me walk away?
I don't know.
All these years and you still don't know. You let me walk away because my heart remembered you wanted to live with.
That wasn't the reason, Belle.
You didn't love me anymore.
I did love you, Belle. I still do.
Why didn't you say that then?
I was a fool. No more. No more questions.
Mr. Scrooge, in my chambers immediately. 15-minute recess.
All right.
All right.
The Honorable Stanfield R. Pearson.
Be seated. The court is now in session. I trust that there will be no more outbursts and that we may continue this trial in an orderly fashion. Mr. Rothschild, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to call to the witness stand the ghost of Christmas present.
Well, the ghost of Christmas present. Would the ghost of Christmas present please come forward?
I just saw him outside.
Mr. Connolly, go find him. Would you like to call another witness?
No, Your Honor, I'll just wait.
I'd like to call a witness.
Mr. Scrooge,
It's fine, it's fine, Your Honor.
very well.
I'd like to go back to the stand, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Frederick Fitzpatrick.
Mr. Fitzpatrick. On the night in question, when I was in the clutches of the ghost of Christmas present,
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
when I was with the ghost of Christmas present, where were you?
In my home,
And what were you doing?
hosting a Christmas party.
The party to which I was invited?
Yes.
And who was at this party?
Friends, family, well, my wife's family.
What do these people do for a living?
Mostly businessmen.
Successful businessmen?
Yes, I'd say so.
I found him.
Good. In a minute.
Good.
Proceed, Mr. Scrooge.
Did you play any games at this party?
Yes.
Did you play yes and no?
Yes.
Yes and no, my favorite.
Mr. Connolly, would you shush? Get over here.
And did you choose the subject?
Yes.
Was it a person?
Yes.
Are you certain?
Yes.
On the night in question, did anyone ask if it was a person?
Yes.
And what was your answer?
No.
Even though you knew the correct answer was yes?
Yes.
Did anyone ask if it was an animal?
Yes.
And what was your answer?
Yes.
Even though you knew that to be incorrect as well.
Yes.
Did you continue these lies throughout the game?
Objection.
Did
Overruled.
you continue to lie?
Objection. It's a child's game. I don't see.
Mr. Rothschild, sit down.
Did you continue to lie to your family and friends?
This has nothing to do with
It
it.
has everything to do with it. For the benefit of Mr. Rothschild, the questions that night seared into my memory. Is it a lie?
Yes.
Please give the answer you gave that night, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Is it alive?
Barely.
Is it tame?
No.
A wild beast?
Yes.
Does it growl?
Yes.
Does it roar?
Yes.
Is it a tiger?
No.
Is it a bear?
No.
Is it a pig?
Oh, what?
Oh, right. Pigs don't.
Mr. Connolly.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Is it in London?
Yes.
In a zoo?
No.
In a cage, surely.
No.
Does it roam the streets?
Yes.
Is it old?
Yes.
Is it ugly?
Yes.
Is it rich?
Yes.
I know what it is. It's Mr. Scrooge. It is, isn't it?
Is that the correct answer?
Yes.
An old, ugly, wild beast?
Look, it was just a game.
No! But it's my name, my reputation. Who of those people at your party will ever want to do business with me? Who of those people will ever want to reach out a hand in kindness to me? None! As long as you continue to slander my good name and perpetuate a false image of me as an old, ugly, wild beast. No more questions.
Mr. Rothschild, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Fred, did you play any other games that night?
Yes. How, when, and where? Coach Dober. Blind man's buck.
Yes. Blind man's bluff. Is it bluff or bluff?
It's buck.
I always thought it was bluff.
Well, most people do, but it's buck.
You're positive.
So you can look it up if you like.
That's all right, but I trust you. Well, how exactly do you play blind man's buff again?
Well, someone is blindfolded, and then they're spun around a few times to disorientate them. They have to go around the room and try and catch someone.
Is it fun?
Oh yes, it's a great deal of fun.
Fred, I want to ask you a question, and I need you to be completely honest with me. When you were playing blind man's buff, was it merely in good fun, or, as the name suggests, you were making fun of the blind?
My God, no, it was merely a good fun.
Was it?
Yes, of course.
So you and your friends were sitting around and laughing at the expense of the blind man?
How could you think such a thing?
Taking delight in the blind man stumbling about in the buff! Stumbling over tables, tripping over rocks.
Oh, never!
Oh, look! The naked blind man can't see! How
What
far
are you saying?
How the blind ever going to get ahead in this world, Fred? If people like you continue to perpetuate the false image of the blind man as a clumsy, inept jester!
I
There are plenty of penalties for this type of behavior, Fred.
did!
Fines!
We weren't!
Time!
What are you?
You just got notice, you like
This is preposterous. I was there that night. They were just playing a game, a child's game. No one was ridiculing anything or perpetuating an image. It was merely in good fun.
Precisely. And no one was creating and perpetuating a false image of you or ridiculing you when they were playing yes and no. That too is all in good fun. No further questions, Your Honor.
We may step down, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Mr. Rothschild, your witness.
Yes, I would like to call to the witness stand the toast. Oh, Christmas presents. We'll try again.
The ghost of Christmas present.
Not living up to his name, is he?
Mr. Conley, where is he?
I tried to tell you. He said he doesn't have time for this trial.
He doesn't have time.
He said his life on this globe is very brief, and he has other business to attend to.
Tell him his business is within these four walls and nowhere else.
I did, but he refuses to come in.
What is he doing that's so important?
He's sprinkling powder in people's food.
What?
When they're not looking.
There is something peculiar in that powder.
Mr. Connolly, go outside and force him to come into this courtroom.
I don't want to mess with him. I've never seen the likes of him before.
Mr. Connolly,
He
now.
says he has more than 1,800 brothers.
Connolly,
I don't like them odds.
you're sprinkling an unknown substance into people's food.
And he's harboring 2 children under his robe.
What? What?
2 children, they live under his robe.
Well, notify Scotland Yard.
Dressed in rags. They haven't bathed in God knows how long.
But they're his children.
He told me they're mankind.
He takes care of them.
Forcing them to live under his robe is not taking care of them. Mr. Connolly, now.
Beware them both, but most of all, beware the boy. He's the one with doom written on his brow.
He really is good to them, Your Honor.
And that will be for the courts to decide.
All right, Your Honor, I would like to call back to the witness stand Mr. Robert Cratchit.
Mr. Robert Cratchit.
When you first started working for Mr. Scrooge, how much were you making? What was your salary?
15 shillings a week.
15 shillings a week. And you were able to live on that.
We may do.
When you say we, who specifically are you talking about?
My family.
At that point, at that time, how big was your family?
Oh, it was my wife, myself, and 2 children.
15 shillings a week for 4 people.
Yes, sir.
When the night in question, how big was your family then?
It was my wife, myself, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 children.
My goodness, Bob, you have been busy, haven't you? At that point, how much were you making at Scrooge Marley's?
15 shillings a week.
15 shillings a week. You worked for Mr. Scrooge for 10 years, and you never once received a raise.
That's correct.
Did he ever give you a Christmas bonus?
No, sir.
When Mr. Marley died, did he ever offer you the position of partner?
I asked him about that once, but he said it would cost too much money to change the sign.
The sign.
Scrooge Marley.
Oh, that's right. He never painted out old Marley's name, did he?
No, sir. It still says Scrooge Marley.
Well, doesn't that confuse people?
Sometimes people new to the business call him Mr. Scrooge, and others Mr. Marley. But he answers to both.
So you were supporting a wife and 6 children, was it? On 15 shillings a week with no hope of ever getting a raise or that of a partnership.
Yes, sir.
How were you able to do that?
Oh, well, it wasn't easy.
Well, it seems like it's almost impossible.
Objection!
Overruled.
But
Overruled. Have you found him?
Yes,
Good.
but
Continue, Mr. Rockhouse.
thank you, Your Honor. Well, I'd like to ask you a question about your youngest child.
Tim.
Yes, Tim. I believe you have some sort of a nickname for him, don't you?
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. And I'm assuming that's because he's tiny. Nah, sharp as a tennis ball, that one.
He's small for his age, yes.
Is there any particular reason why?
He was born prematurely and remained ill.
On the night in question, just how ill was Tiny Tim?
Quite ill.
Was he dying?
Yes, sir.
Did he know it?
I think so.
How can you tell?
He didn't talk about it. But he did say to me once that he hoped people saw him at church. Because he was ill. That it might be pleasant for them to remember who made lame beggars walk, blind men see.
So Tim was crippled.
He had grown so weak he was forced to use a crutch.
Did you ever seek medical help?
We couldn't afford it.
So you just decided to
Wait and pray.
wait and pray? Your Honor, I would like to submit Exhibit B to the court. Tiny Tim's crutch. If Tiny Tim continued along the path he was on the night in question, this would be all that's left of him. It's sad to see a little boy forced to use a crutch, but it's even more sad to see a crutch with no owner. It's not pretty, Mr. Scrooge, but this is what a world without pity looks like. On the day after the night in question, did you see some kind of a change in Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, sir. He was a completely different person. Happy. Kind.
Just how did that kindness manifest itself?
We burnt more coal that day than we had all year. He gave me a substantial raise, and he even offered to help with Tiny Tim.
Help with Tiny Tim how?
Pay for his medical treatments. Get him the best care. For a while, he was like a second father to Tim.
And how is Tim doing today?
As good as gold, and better. He did not die, and he no longer needs his crutch to walk.
Bob, would you say the change in Mr. Scrooge, would you say that change saved Tim's life?
Yes, sir. I would.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Scrooge, you're a witness.
Mr. Cratchit, before the night in question, had you ever been to debtor's prison?
No, sir.
Had you ever been arrested for not paying your bills?
No, sir.
Had you been forced to sleep on the street?
No, sir.
Had you ever not been able to put food on the table?
No, sir. But this one time, I would...
What did you do during the day, Mr. Cratchit?
Well, during the day, I worked for you.
And at night?
I spent my nights at home with my family.
According to Miss Wainwright, who has extensive experience with the poor, thousands are in need of common necessities, and hundreds of thousands are in need of common comforts. Before the night in question, did you consider yourself to be one of those thousands?
No, sir.
I didn't either. You had a job, a house, you had never been to debtor's prison, and you'd always been paying for food on the table.
Yes, sir. I have 6 children. It was,
Perhaps you should have thought about that before you had them.
You may step down, Mr. Cratchit. Mr. Rock.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to try once again to call the ghost of Christmas present, if he is available.
The ghost of Christmas present.
He got away.
We got
gone.
Where did he go?
He just vanished into thin air.
Oh, Mr. Connolly, ghosts don't just vanish into thin air. That's Scotland Yard's problem now. Anyway, Mr. Rothschild, call me.
I'd like to.
Mr. Scrooge.
I'd like to call him Sam. This is Harriet Dober.
That's fine. I don't care. This is Harriet Dober.
It's not.
Please tell the court your full name.
Harriet Penelope Dober.
And where were you on the night in question?
About.
Did you come to us specifically?
Yes, I told
Did you come to my room that night?
Don't flatter yourself.
Did you or did you not come to my room that night with the intention of pilfering my goods?
I did not. Yeah.
Oh, Joel thinks differently.
Oh, Joe's got a big mouth on him.
So you admit you did a little pilfering that night.
Maybe a quickie pilfer?
What exactly did you pilfer?
Oh, that's none of your business, is it? You're getting kind of personal, I think. Don't you think so, Laura?
Mrs. Gilbert, do you know what the word pilfer means?
Well, if you don't know by now, I ain't gonna tell you. What does it mean?
Means to steal.
Oh, come on! You mean after all these years and I thought it meant something else?
So let me ask you again. On the night in question,
Oh, yes, I went into your house and I pilfered everything I could get my hands on.
and what exactly did you pilfer?
I have no idea. It's a long time ago. You know, my memory's not that good anymore.
Let me see if I can help you. In old Joe's deposition, he says, she came into the shop mistaken. Old Scratchit finally died.
All's right to sit.
Scratch?
Yeah.
Young knitter bundle. And out fell his gloves, leather boots, blankets, bed curtains, rings and all, and the shirt. Fine cotton it was.
Well, I couldn't see it go to waste, you know. They were going to let it ruin.
Ruined.
Yes. They were going to take that fine cotton shirt it was and bury you in it. But I had a calico shirt on me and I dressed you in that and I took that fine shirt.
No more questions.
Mr. Rothschild, you're
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Gilbert, may I call you?
You can call me anything you like, love.
Thank you, Harriet.
Call me yours.
Harriet.
Oh, such a gentleman.
Harriet, where do you sleep at night?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would.
Come, you're pilfering me, aren't you, are?
Harriet, do you know a Sara Wainwright?
Maybe.
How long have you known her?
A few years.
Where did the two of you meet?
At a party.
Was it snowing that night? That was you in the streets, wasn't it? How's your family?
Cold to come
When?
a few days after the party.
Where do you live?
Wherever.
Harriet, how often do you see Sara Wainwright?
Oh, every Christmas. And I get it. She's always so nice to me. And she's just like family. Only family I got.
Harriet, I just have one final question for you. Why did you steal Mr. Scrooge's belongings?
Do you know a better way?
Yes, it's called a job.
Are you gonna hire me?
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mr. Gilbert.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my
That's
goodness.
smart.
I think no, I thought it fell out of one of my bags.
Oh, Mrs.
You
Dober.
skinflint.
Sit down.
Everything's fine.
Who wants to call the next witness?
I will, Your Honor. I would like to call to the witness stand the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Because the ghost of Christmas yet to come does not have normal vocal cords, we have hired a court-appointed translator who speaks French. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Would you please state your full name for the court?
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come. May I call you Future?
Please.
Future, on the night in question, did you pay a visit to Mr. Scrooge?
Yes.
Aren't you able to speak in a normal voice?
Yes, I am.
Future, what was the purpose of that visit to Mr. Scrooge?
Redemption.
He tried to kill me.
Mr. Scrooge.
Ask him. Go ahead, ask him.
Sit down, Mr. Scrooge.
Did he try to kill Mr. Scrooge?
No.
Liar.
Could he not shout like that? It hurts my ears.
Murderer.
Why is he doing this to me?
Because you tried to kill me.
I've never killed anyone in my life.
He's lying.
I'd like to kill him right now, though.
You're not the only one. Sit down, Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge says you tried to kill him.
Mr. Scrooge can't kiss my spectral cookies.
Now, why would Mr. Scrooge say something like that?
Because he's a putz.
Objection.
But he can't. You witness is entitled to his opinion.
Oh, that wasn't his opinion. It was mine. Sorry.
Future, while you were with Mr. Scrooge, was he ever in danger of dying?
The only one in danger of dying that night was me. I nearly froze my lunkers off that night. Look at this. I've seen toilet paper thicker than this. This wouldn't keep a pig on his spit warm. You'd think they'd spring for something with a little insulation. But no. The ghost of Christmas present has enough fat on him to keep a tribe of Eskimos warm for a lifetime. And they give him a wool suit.
Future, as best as you can remember, what happened on the night in question?
I'm freezing now, as a matter of fact. Could someone put some more coal on, please?
Mr. Connolly, no, it's quite warm enough in here as it is. You may proceed, Mr.
But
Roncal.
my client,
Your client should have dressed for the weather.
Not too tight.
Future, on the night in question, did you kidnap Mr. Scrooge?
No.
Well, how did you force him to go with you then?
I didn't force him. He went on his own.
And just where did you take him?
To see his future.
Mr. Scrooge's future if he did not change his ways, is that correct?
Yes.
And just what did his future look like?
Cold. Overcast. Gloomy. Hello, welcome to England. The sun never sets my eye. The sun never rises. I hate England.
not change his ways. He only had 4 days left to live.
Give or take a few hours.
But did your visit have any effect on Mr. Scrooge?
He cried like a baby and promised to keep Christmas in his heart all the year.
He did he?
Blubbered and bawled his head off.
So Mr. Scrooge promised to keep the spirit of Christmas alive in his heart all the year long.
A promise made on his knees.
I see. Thank you very much, Future. I have no further questions.
Mr. Scrooge, your witness.
Earlier, Mr. Marley expressed frustration in scheduling an appointment. A 7-year wait? That's quite a workload. When do you get a day off?
We're not from Christmas Day until Christmas Eve.
You only work 1 day out of the year?
One night, actually. But it's a busy night. No rest.
1 night out of the entire year? Well, no wonder there's a 7-year wait. Did it ever occur to you to work a few more hours?
We're the ghosts of Christmas. We only come once a year.
On the night in question, you took me to my room, did you not?
Yes.
Why did you take me there?
Is it hot in here?
Please answer the question.
Could you open a window? I'm burning up.
Answer the question.
I'm thirsty too. I'm hot and thirsty. Great, I've got cholera.
You don't want to
Again with the killing. What is it with you?
That night, you took me to my room and tried to induce me into having a heart attack by showing me this. Exhibit C, my dead body. Did you or did you not show me this on the 19th question?
I did, what I wanted.
I didn't even want
Did you continue to point at me to try to get me to turn back the sheet?
Yes, but it wasn't.
Thereby frightening me into having a heart attack by seeing my own dead body?
Oh!
No!
You're lying!
Objection, my client is not lying.
Then why show me this? Why show me this if I am not all? I'll tell you why. Because this spirit of Christmas is a cold-hearted murderer!
No!
Murderer!
I didn't!
Liar!
It wasn't me!
There was no one else in the room that night! I understand you. You're trying to finish now, but you didn't finish a year ago.
Look there!
But I won't do it! I won't do it!
Mr. Scrooge, pull back the sheets.
What are you saying?
I'm saying pull back the sheet.
What?
Pull it back.
I haven't the power.
Well, you may not, but I do. Mr. Connolly. Now.
No! Merciful heaven! Jacob!
Mr. Marley, what is the meaning of this?
Well, where's my dead body?
Mr. Marley?
Does anyone have any smelling salts?
Well, never mind that. Where's Mr. Scrooge's dead
It
body?
was under the sheet.
Did you see it under the sheet?
No, I just thought,
Oh, Mr. Connolly, what do I pay you for?
well, I sweep the floor.
Mr. Marley,
Oh,
what
that
is the
was-
meaning of
That
this?
was a rhetorical question.
Mr. Marley, where is Mr. Scrooge's dead body? Mr. Connolly, what do I pay you for? Arrest him!
But
Your Honor, my client.
I believe your client has stolen evidence.
Well, it's a very logical explanation for all of this.
Well, then I would like to hear it.
Absolutely, Your Honor. daughter as soon as I find out. Jacob, come back here. Have you seen Mr. Scrooge's dead body anywhere? No. A future. Oh, you are just useless. Past. Has anyone seen past? Past. You haven't seen Mr. Scrooge's dead body just lying about, have you? No. Your Honor, I believe we need a recess.
Not until your client wants to dig in with Mr. Scrooge's dead body.
I don't believe my clients had anything to do with the disappearance.
Mr. Marley was laying under the tree where Mr. Scrooge's dead body should have been.
Yes, Your Honor, he's already testified, having no sleep and no rest. You just needed a cat Mr. Jacob.
If your clients don't tell us this instant what happened, I'm going to have them all thrown in jail. Now, for the last time, what happened to Mr. Scrooge's dead body?
There is no dead body.
What?
There never was a dead body.
But I saw my dead body.
It wasn't your dead body.
That wasn't my dead body under the sheet.
No.
If it wasn't my dead body, then who or what was under the sheet that night?
Jacob! Mr. Marley, what's the meaning? Order!
He forced us to do it.
I didn't.
Forced.
I said
Liar.
our best chance.
Order!
Force you to do what?
He forced us to break the rules.
Rules? What rules?
When we show someone their future, we're not allowed to use a dead body.
We're not allowed to use a dead body?
No. Tombstones, yes. Dead bodies, no. But Mr. Marley did not think a tombstone was enough to scare Mr. Scrooge into changing his ways. So he forced us to use a dead body.
I didn't.
Forced! Forced!
Force!
Anything else that
Technically, your entire future?
time? That wasn't my future?
It was an approximation.
You approximated my future?
We approximate everyone's future.
What?
We speculate. That's where specter comes from.
So that I can you intentionally deceive and frighten me into changing my ways through a fabricated future and a counterfeit corpse?
It was forgery. Good, Ebenezer.
Mr. Marley, you are the spirits of Christmas, nothing but smooth talking, double-dealing, self-righteous charlatans who terrorize people in the name of redemption!
Mr. Scrooge, sit down.
Your Honor!
You too, Mr. Rock.
Your Honor!
Not another word. And nothing from you, Mr. Scrooge.
Throw them all in jail.
Had enough. Now sit down, all of you. Not you, Mr. Connolly.
Oh, sorry.
In all my years, I have never seen a more reprehensible assemblage than I have today. You have all collectively made a mockery of my courtroom. Your abhorrent and intolerant behaviors. I could work my will on each of you. I would have you all boiled in your own pudding, buried with a stake of holly through your heart.
Surely you don't mean that.
Oh, don't call me Shirley. You, Mr. Connolly, would be the first. There will be no closing arguments. I have heard more than enough to pass judgment. Although Mr. Scrooge did not provide overwhelming evidence that anyone, living or deceased, attempted to kidnap or murder him, he did provide, in a rather uncustomary way, evidence of trespassing, breaking and entering, stalking, pain and suffering, and the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Furthermore, I found overwhelming evidence that Mr. Marley, through his own admission, did carefully plot, contrive, and conspire the events of that night in question. And that without that contrivance, none of those occurrences would have happened. Therefore, I find the defendants, Mr. Jacob Marley, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come, guilty of sin, and I condemn them to a fine of £1,000 each, and termination of all ghostly duties.
And one?
Yes?
I won! I won! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man.
Oh, Mr. Scrooge, take your giddiness elsewhere. This court stands
Your Honor, on termination?
effective immediately.
But you can't terminate my client's spiritual obligations.
I just did.
Well, that's a death sentence. They'll cease to exist.
Well, that won't change things for them very much now, will it?
Please, Your Honor, please reconsider community service time. They'll gladly pay a double, triple the fines. Anything, but not termination.
It's enough, Mr. Rothschild. I have made my decision, and this court stands.
Oh, wait. Mr. Scrooge made a verbal agreement, a promise.
Yes, Mr. Rothschild. I made a promise. A promise made on my knees to honor the spirit of Christmas and to keep that spirit alive in my heart all the year long.
Yes, sir, and you have broken that promise.
On the contrary, I did not shut out the lessons the Spirit taught me. The lessons of all three live within me.
I beg to differ.
Bob Cratchit is the highest paid clerk in all of London, I dare say. And young Tiny Tip, because of me, will grow to be old enormous Tip. I have given money to the poor. I have protected children on the head, and I have been incredibly irresistible.
Mazel tov, then. The spirits of Christmas actually work.
But why should I keep the spirit all year long? Or all that, for that matter? But those who force me to do so fail to do so themselves.
Well, they don't fail to keep it.
By their own admission. They only appear once a year.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge, that's because Christmas only comes once a year.
Or excuse from picking Mass pocket every 25th of December.
Well, if you think of mercy, benevolence, and charity,
You'll
pick in
forget
your
this
pocket.
long, child. You lost this trial.
Mr. Scrooge, I beg of you, a world without the spirits of Christmas is just...
January through November. What's one more month?
Your Honor, please.
It's not my business. This court is.
Wait! What?
Why?
I'll tell you what I'll do, Mr. Longchild. I'll make you an offer. I'll agree to drop all the charges if your clients agree to work more than 1 day out of the year.
Are you serious?
Oh, quite serious.
Well, thank you, Mr. Scrooge. My clients will be more than willing to double their workload.
No. Oh, you.
But just how many days will you?
Oh, I don't know. Shall we say every day?
Every day!
Yes!
Mr. Scrooge, you've got to be reasonable.
I am being reasonable.
But you can't demand of my clients anything that...
I am demanding of your clients exactly what they demanded of me.
Oh, Mr. Scrooge, please.
That's my offer, or your clients cease to exist.
Well, I'll need several days to discuss this with our clients.
They're right here.
Well, present is not present.
Now, Mr. Rothschild, are rescinded by all.
Hey, stop my brother.
No.
I think there's plenty of
I have made my decision. This court is.
Mr. Scrooge, I believe we have a bargain.
They accept my terms.
They do.
The spirits of Christmas will thrive every day,
They will.
effective immediately.
Effective immediately, and all charges are dropped.
All charges are dropped. But I'll keep the money they owe me.
Wait, but you said that
All charges, yes, but not the money.
But that is not helpful.
So I just start a fund for the poor. Wise Wainwright, I believe, is my first choice to administrate. And I believe Mrs. Dober will be the wonderful overpaid clerk. Don't you agree?
Are you well, Mr. Scrooge?
Oh, quite well. I assure you. Clients were the only ones who had to go to extreme measures.
What?
Yes, extraordinary measures.
You mean this entire trial?
Extraordinary measures. But
I just don't know what to say.
you should have seen the look on your faces. You actually believed I was the man I was before. But I am not the man I was before. But you had to believe I was the man I was before, or nothing wonderful could have happened. I am not the man I was before. I mean, Merry Christmas. The merriest Christmas we've had in many and many a year.
Well, thank you, Mr. Scrooge. I really don't know what to
They
say.
don't say anything.
You really are as good a man and as good a friend as this good old world has ever seen.
A promise is a promise, right, Jacob? And Mr. Rothschild, may I call you Solomon?
I would be honored.
Solomon, let me truly said of all of us that we knew how to keep the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of caring and generosity, in our hearts all the year long.
God bless us, everyone.
A remarkable boy. And now I'd like to invite you all back to my house for a wonderful party with wonderful games of wonderful merriness.
Not too late now. Work in the morning. You always were a good man of business, Ebenezer.
Mankind is my business, Jacob. You taught me that. Sometimes it just needs a slip kick in the pants. What do you think, Your Honor?
I shall retire to bed. You, I suppose, you'll want the whole day off tomorrow.
If convenient.
It's not convenient. We have business to attend to. The day after next, we begin Twist versus Bumble. But I suppose you must have the entire day off. Be here all the earlier than next.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Ah, Who's there? We're closed. Who's there?
Yes.